Every month, what we're going to be doing is having a session like this to update you on all the latest news of the BSN, but also feature a partner. And this month, we have Kalina.tonkovska from Industria here. And so we'll be having her on later. So let me start with a bit of news and updates on the BSN over the past month. On May 24th, we had 120 people attend in person and over 300 people attend virtually. So we're very happy about how the event went, and there are links in the invitation. And if you follow us to rewatch all the videos and all the speeches from the event. So we'd like to dig a little bit more into that event itself and one of the major announcements we made there. We announced the BSN Spartan network at the BSN Hong Kong Summit. So I'd like to turn to Yifan and ask him to tell us a little bit more about what is the BSN Spartan network?
Just like public chains, so everybody can use, everybody can enjoy that kind of technology. But the catch for the BSN Spartan network is still a network. It's not one chain. On this network, there will be like dozens of chains in the public by end of next year. But when we launch this, there will be 3 public chains. Okay, let me emphasize this: it's a public chain. Okay, because everything we do inside China is permissioned. The reason is the public chain doesn't really comply with Chinese regulations of the internet. So that's why in China we use open permission chain. Okay, it's our BSN DDC network. So we have a bunch of open permission chain. So like Scale and Klaytn is a new member joins the DDC network. But outside China, we actually will launch the BSN Spartan network. And on this network is all public chains. Okay, that's the first thing I want to emphasize. The second thing actually is the catch is they are not regular public chains. They are we call that non-cryptocurrency public chains. Most people from the crypto industry will like, why you guys even do this? Who are going to use that? So everybody's the first reaction, all my friends, first reaction, are you crazy? So, why we're even doing the public chains is because crypto. So we are not trying to kill crypto. Okay, first let me claim. What we're trying to do is remove the crypto from layer 1 to layer 2. Okay, because the reason is we really, really love public chain technology. I mean, we love that more than crypto industry. Okay. For traditional business, there's just no way for them to use that. I always make this example called the Coca-Cola example. Team already heard like a dozen times. This story is like, someone trying to build a Coca-Cola factory in, let's say, in New York. It's fine, use the city's water supply, right? But one day they get greedy. They say, okay, let's work with the mayor. Let's not only build the factory on top of the water supply, let's build into the water supply. So everybody in New York City, when they open their tap water, it's Coca-Cola. So all the factory, all the restaurant, everybody will drink Coca-Cola. We will become so rich. And they, let's assume, they really do that. And the mayor is saying, okay, let's do how we become the billionaires. What's the result? The result is everybody leaves the city. The only people left there is the crypto people. Sorry, I went back to the crypto people. Okay, that's actually what happens with the public chains because they build into the layer 1. And if I'm a bank, okay, I really think we should put some data on the public chain to make that really, really transparent. Okay, to our end user. This kind of services, we probably, the bank only charge like $1 per month. And they need to pay like $2,000 for some data on the public chain. There's no way and that $2,000 cost this year could be $20,000 next year. So there's no way any, traditional IT system will use this. So our mission is we want, give the public chain to all the IT systems in the world. So the first move is to remove crypto. But on our non-cryptocurrency, public chain, you can still build layer 2 crypto. Okay, like you can still build a Coca-Cola factory in New York. Okay, we welcome you. Okay, but which means all our other applications, if they really want to use crypto, they still can call you smart contract. It's still, the industry is still there, the crypto is still there, as long as it's legal, it complies with the local laws. It's fine, just do it. But leave the infrastructure to everybody. This is actually our mission. So when we launch Spartan Network, there will be 3 public chains: non-crypto Ethereum, non-crypto Cosmos, and we are still trying to find the third one. Okay, and trust me, when I this to all crypto people and all my public chain people, the first question is, who are the silly guys who want to use this kind of public chain? My standard answer is, I don't answer you, but I will ask a question to you, and your answer is my answer. My question is, why in the world 99.9999% of the IT system don't use public chains? Why? But also, I really, really think in 6 months or 1 year, all the public chains will realize this is the way to go. Okay, because in the crypto world, everybody talk mass adoption. It's like mass adoption. So, but how to really achieve that? It's not by the way you put a Coca-Cola into the water supply. It's you build a very, very pure and cheap water supply to attract everybody into the city. And then they can buy Coca-Cola. That's the only way to achieve mass adoption, if you can, okay? So what we do actually is we are helping the crypto industry. Because we can get all the IT systems in the world which never use public chain to use a new public chain infrastructure with crypto on top. So they have, if they want, they can still use crypto. This is why I say is the only viable, strategy to reach mass adoption for crypto. And biggest benefit is the cost. If you mint NFT, right, with your own smart contract, mint NFT on Ethereum, it costs you probably $200, probably more, $200 now. On our non-crypto Ethereum, it's 2 cents US dollar, 2 cents, and it's fixed. Okay, it's fixed. So that's the difference. And the others, it's still Ethereum. Okay. The next question, people always say, okay, this is BSN Spartan Network. It's from China. It's scary. Why people use something from China? Let me tell you, first, the BSN Spartan Network come from Hong Kong, not China. Okay, of course, Hong Kong is part of China, but it's we launched the whole thing from Hong Kong, and we use international standard, which means first, it's 100% open source. Okay, all the non-crypto public chains, our data centers, everything is open source. Check the codes. Okay, the second one is anonymous. Okay, and it's anonymous, which means you can set up the data center, install those 3, nodes for the 3 chains, and you only input, an email address. That's it. And of course, you need to pay the gas, like 2 cents. Okay, pay the gas with US dollar. And we give you 2 options. You can pay through credit card. You say, okay, credit card is KYC. It's not anonymous. Then you can choose the second one, is USDC. Okay, you can use USDC to pay for the gas. So total and anonymous. Okay. Then the third one, when you set up data center, is free. Okay, you can just set up, testing it, do whatever you want, just for testing it probably costs you $1. It's basically our plan. It will launch by end of August. It's basically our largest project today, for the BSN International. And we think really trying something for all the IT system on the world. We are not trying to do a project to make some quick money. So we hope, more and more people can join us, to really, really think, blockchain technology beyond cryptocurrencies. Tim?
Hey, it's great, Yifan. So if I'm a business, how should I participate? How should I get involved in this?
That's actually also another question from the crypto world. They say, okay, or sometimes they say, okay, why people even want to join this? are you guys going to pay them? I say, why so many companies are using AWS? I don't think AWS is paying you. You actually pay for the AWS services. Why you even use AWS? Because there will be so many companies will actually see the public chain as very nice IT infrastructure they can use for their business. And how they do that is just go to our GitHub, download the code, their IT guy, download the code, set up the data center. And it's just like set up the Ethereum nodes. Okay, you can even go to AWS, we will have the whole thing on marketplace. So you can click a button and deploy that. It's just like connecting to the Ethereum. Okay, we will have user menus, everything, then, just do the user thing. But when you connect to the non-crypto Ethereum, you don't really use the ETH anymore. Okay, you basically use the US dollar to buy a token. Okay, we still have a token because it's still blockchain. The token called...
it's a utility token, right?
Yes,
not a speculative token.
Yes, exactly. That's why we give the name NTT. Okay, it's not the Japanese TV solution. It's a non-tradable token, non-tradable. So once it's non-tradable, then it's fixed the price. So when you buy this token NTT, it cannot be transferred. So you can only use the NTT to pay the gas on 3 chains. You can choose any chain to pay for the gas. So that's basically the setup. It's very easy. If you ever use the Ethereum, it should be everything is exactly the same.
Okay, Yifan, one question that I know that people have asked is for example, if I'm a business and I want to get involved in the BSN Spartan network, and I build an application on non-crypto Ethereum. How is my investment protected? What happens if that chain goes away? Can I use my application on the public Ethereum?
Of course, because it's Ethereum, you can move your smart contract to the public Ethereum. It just works, exactly the same. But remember, this is public chain. Okay. So there will be hundreds nodes, but of course, because it's a very, very cheap public chain. So actually for the validator nodes, it's actually not not everybody can set up the validator nodes. So we will have like 20 to 40 validator nodes hosted by major companies in the world. Okay, during the launch we probably have 10, but by end of this year we will have 20 to 30 of them hosting the BSN Spartan network. We call that governance data centers. Okay, they actually vote. For example, onboarding a new non-crypto public chain, change that 2 cents per NFT kind of price. That price only can be changed, once a quarter and once 20% up or 20% down, because we want that price is very, very fixed. So it's and also if we add one new validator, the governance data center, we all vote. So it's 20 to 30 major companies to back in the entire network. So people say, okay, the 30 guys, you guys can do something, really, really, bad. That's why I love AWS. I always say AWS just one company. Why, so many people put all their data on there because you trust this company. We want, those 20 to 30 companies are trustworthy. Okay, when you say their name, you say, okay, definitely, we trust you.
Thanks, Yifan. I think everyone's interested to hear more over the next few weeks and months about the BSN Spartan network. Let's shift gears now to talk. We have the regular quarterly updates on the BSN. So maybe, Yifan, you could provide us with the latest updates, particularly on the BSN DDC network.
Okay. The DDC network basically is a Chinese version of the BSN Spartan network. Okay, but it's not a non-crypto, public chain. It's a non-crypto open permission chain. The whole blockchain industry in China is totally different than the outside. 2 reasons. One, no cryptocurrency. Okay, everybody know that. Okay, and then it won't come back. It won't come back in 20 years. Okay, so don't think one day the China will accept the cryptocurrency. It won't happen. Okay, it won't happen in the next 20 years. And also the public chain also illegal. Okay, because there's regulations on internet, to define the KYCs on IT systems and also the content management on any IT system connect to the internet and offer public access. So that's a law. So that means no cryptocurrency, no public chain. So in China, we convert those public chain into an open permission version and also form the DDC network. We have a open permission Ethereum, open permission Cosmos, open permission EOS, those chains are up running right now. Okay, so. But what we're trying to do, like I said, we really believe in public chains. Okay, so what we do is make those chains fully compliant with Chinese regulation, but make them as close to public chain as possible. So those chains, when you use them, it's just like public chain. It's a total transparent. When you create an NFT, you can also always use your own browser or third-party APIs to check everything. So it's just like public chains, but of course it's a permission. Okay, it's even you want to set up a regular node, we need a KYC. Okay, so that's a different. So we launched the whole thing after Chinese New Year. So it's 3.5 months. It has been pretty successful in China. So we have right now it's like 800 different major NFT platform or action platform connecting to those chains, and then they offer their services to end users. So we have like more than 700 business is using those chains, and some business is very large, like 5 million to 10 million users. So in April alone, we have like I think more than 4 million NFT minted on the DDC network. I think it's because the difference, there are competitors in China, but like I said, our chain is really transparent, and the end user can hold their private keys. Okay, we even launched some kind of wallet. This kind of DDC wallet. It's not like the cryptocurrency wallet, but people can use that to manage their own private keys, right? Like MetaMask, Chinese version of MetaMask. Then they can actually create and manage their own private key locally. Then use that to control the smart contracts they have on those DDC network. So we try to make everything as close to public chain as possible. Okay, so that's why actually all those businesses, they understand that they want things to be transparent. They want give them end user the ownership of the data. I think definitely for the DDC network in China, we actually on a right path. Okay, we really, even under the very strict regulation on internet, we still make that as transparent as possible. So that's why we also think, outside China for the BSN Spartan network will also, be loved by many traditional IT systems.
Can you talk a little bit about the latest updates on the BSN DDC network? I think there have been some updates this last quarter.
Yeah, the first one, we actually released open source, we call that DDC Vault. Basically, the private key management plug-in to the Chrome browser. Okay, it's locally installed. Then you can actually create your own private key locally. Then connect to the DDC network to deploy your smart contract or mint your own DDC. But this vault is not directly used on DDC. You need to go through a platform. So it's more like a free tool, open source to our customers. 700 customers, they can use this tool to serve their end user, to make their platform even more transparent. So it's open source, which means you can download. They can always download the codes, modify anything. But we hope that actually is one day it's also become a private key login, a plugin. Which means you can even use that plugin to use this kind of certificate to log in to any websites. It's not like it's a username password. But personally, I think in 10 years, username password will be gone. Okay, nobody. Our kids one day the kids will say, okay, I read a sci-fi novel. Okay, it mentioned something like a username password. Grandpa, what's that? I say, okay, I almost forgot, you don't need to remember like hundreds of username password. There will be login will change to a certificate on your local, machine. It's PC or phone or, this can be our headset, in the future.
Right. Kind of like a phone with a cord that went to the wall, right? No one
yes. What's that phone?
Right. So there are a couple other updates that you want to mention for the DDC network?
There's a bunch, but it's too technical, I think, to explain here. For example, we make the SDK much better, because if you are a technician, the SDK is something like it's like a preset program, so you can use directly. You don't need to do that part. But because I think last month we only have Java, so some program with Python, experience, they say, okay, I don't know how to use Java. So we actually build that into local services for them. So they can just build that into a local services with local APIs. So their program, whatever language they are using, call that API and to the DDC network. Just make developers' life a little bit easier.
Okay. Yifan, let me ask you just one more question, and then I want to shift over to Kalina to talk about Industria. What's the plan for promoting the BSN DDC network overseas, since we've now launched the English version of the BSN DDC portal?
First, I think the DDC network will only be used in China, which means if we have customers outside China, they basically is a multinational company want to mint NFT inside China. I think the DDC is the only way they can go. Okay, it basically is the best way they can go. But I don't think if someone is outside China and minting NFTs for the outside China market, I don't even suggest that they use the DDC network in China, because the internet access is very slow from outside. So I think in that kind of scenario, wait for the Spartan network. Okay, it's I mean, from the transparent, the cost and the easy access perspective, the Spartan network is much better than DDC network.
All right, Yifan, thank you for that update. So Kalina, I'd like to shift a bit to you. Kalina.tonkovska is from Industria, which is a kind of a leading edge consulting company based in Europe that focuses on distributed ledger technology and other kind of leading technologies. We announced a couple months ago a partnership with Industria. We're very excited to be working with you. So maybe you can tell us more about Industria and what you see for the future of the partnership with the BSN.
Hi, Tim. Thank you so much to the whole team at BSN for inviting us over for your first monthly brief. I'm very excited to be here. Our company is indeed a technology consulting ventures and development firm in Europe. We have offices in Sofia and London. We've been on the market for more than 18 years. We have over 300 enterprise projects delivered. Our company is of around 50 experts in the area. We work very closely with our partner R3, with whom you also work with. And our main area of expertise is permission blockchain. So the specific areas in which we focus, although we are not necessarily confined to those, are fintech, specifically banking, capital markets, insurance, supply chain, basically all regulated markets. We aim to provide the benefits of blockchain in regulated markets where public blockchain, as Yifan pointed out, is sometimes hard to implement. We mainly use, in terms of technology, R3's Corda, which is an open source permissioned chain. And I know that BSN has also implemented Corda in its tech offering, which is very exciting. And from our discussions, I also know that Corda is popular in Asia. So this also makes me very happy to hear. We are not confined to using only Corda, but we have found that the regulated markets prefer this type of chain. On our side, we perform both services and implement products. In terms of services, we deliver everything from advisory and research up to engineering and operations. In terms of products, we implement CBDC, which is central bank digital currency. We also provide services in the area of trade finance and supply chains, such as an electronic bill of lading, and smart legal contracts, not to be confused with smart contracts in blockchain, machine executable legal contracts. This is more or less covers what we do. And in terms of our partnership with BSN, we actually got acquainted with BSN way before we entered into partnership, and our company was very excited to read and to hear everything that you guys are doing. For us, it's a lot more than a platform for distributed applications. It's an opportunity to bridge private and public blockchain, which, as Yifan also pointed out earlier, sometimes could be an issue, especially in corporations and banks. So this is very exciting. Yes, in terms of our company, we are currently engaged for the past 6 months in opening a new company here in Sofia, which is going to expand with 50 more experts. This is in partnership with R3, and our team has put a goal for the upcoming Qs to focus on BSN, because we are actually quite excited about implementing BSN in one of our projects.
Great. Hey, Kalina, let me ask you just maybe a couple of questions. One is, you're based there in Europe. I know you have offices both in the UK and in Sofia there. Tell us a bit about what are you seeing in terms of trends with blockchain or the industry that may be different from rest of the world?
So something that I have noticed about Europe in general is been a bit more conservative in terms of blockchain technology. And definitely we're not as fast-paced as Asia is. So this is something that has changed in recent years, and I'm very happy to see that change. We have, for example, worked on a couple of very high-profile projects in Europe, such as Chase, which is a very big project aimed at delivering blockchain education to the majority of experts, technological experts in Europe. And the other one is EPSI, which is a lot of people might know it. It's the European blockchain infrastructure. So that is something that also we have seen Europe looking forward to implementing digital identity and generally shared documents of legal point of view.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so one thing, because Kalina mentioned a word called permission blockchain, or enterprise blockchain, right? I think one day you should mention it's non-crypto blockchain, because there will be public chains for the traditional IT to access. So you can actually build, the applications on non-crypto public, because I don't think the public chain is a problem. It's the crypto is a problem, right?
Yes,
so in the future, those terms will become. We are working on non-crypto blockchain solutions, right?
This is with no hate or discern for the crypto community, because I know this might be taken that way. So I was very happy to hear about your introduction, Yifan.
Great. Thanks, Kalina. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to shift now over to the Q&A section and see if there are any questions from the audience for Yifan or Kalina or myself. I can see the questions on the Q&A here.
Oh, okay.
So let me pull up a question here. A question from Mia says, Klaytn was integrated into the BSN DDC recently. They're at the forefront of developing metaverse. Does it mean that the BSN will touch metaverse? So just to clarify, Mia, Klaytn, we're working on integrating, creating an OPB that will indeed be integrated into the DDC network over the next several months. So Yifan, do you want to talk a little bit about BSN and the metaverse?
First, the metaverse, I think it's from technical perspective, how to explain metaverse actually is 2 layers. The first layer, we call that front-end technology. Part we think, metaverse is just an upgrade of the traditional websites because, the websites also, evolve along the way, in the 91, 92, if you get on internet, it's DOS. It's DOS interface, okay, black and white. So then we have a browser, HTML, the programming language. Now we saw colors in 90, 93, 94. Then we can see images. Then we say there's actually a very old word. I don't really, heard much now. It's called multimedia, right? In 2000, there's like a multimedia. It's that was then actually the internet, the web page front end actually, moved to phones. With all the cell phones, immediately there's billions of people can access the internet. Then there's the streaming. So the websites always it's involved. So I think the first part of metaverse just front end technology. It's no longer 2D. It's become 3D. It probably with the naked eye you can see a 3D kind of thing. It's the virtual world, and one day in the virtual world, it's not like this kind of silly avatar. It's just you. Real person, seems real person. One day, very quickly, I think in 5 years, you can see yourself inside the metaverse. But that everything is still front end, which means if let's say Facebook, okay, build a metaverse, you go there, the back end data still Facebook data. There's nothing changed. So it's still around your accounts and your own personal data. It's just showing in a different way. So that's the first part of the metaverse. But what's make this great actually is this kind of like blockchain technology. For example, on the non-crypto public chain, then you can use actually, for example, you can build a virtual city without the front end, on a public chain. For you can build 10 million different NFTs, representing buildings, rooms, furnitures, clothes, even DID for each individual, and even events for NFTs. For example, a meeting is one NFT link with different people. So actually we think the NFT is a database technology. So you can link, 200 million NFTs form a whole city, but no front end. Where the front end is from different metaverse, connecting to one single database on a public IT system, like the public chain. Then you can actually interact within this virtual world. So which means, virtual city, right? There's one guy from Facebook living in, a virtual building's room 202, and someone from Google, also access from Google's front end, access to the same building, live in room 203, and they can get out of the room, meet in the hallway, and can, basically interact, just like in the same world, but actually from two front end and two from two. So this is actually the beautiful part of the public IT system, because it can be accessed by multiple, a lot of IT system, same data set. So that's the second layer of the metaverse, which means to us, BSN, we actually right now, the non-crypto public chain is for metaverse. Okay, the immediate use of metaverse. Just remember, can you just calculate the cost to mint?
Yifan's wireless is frozen up there. I think what he was going to say was, trying to calculate the cost of minting, a world, a metaverse world where you had, millions of NFTs. Using public Ethereum, you're talking millions and millions of dollars. But I think when you looked at the BSN Spartan network and, the minting fee of 2 cents per NFT, it starts to become possible. I'm just trying to read Yifan's mind there and see what his answer was. Next question on Spartan, will it be possible to build cross-chain applications? For example, an app built on Ethereum can be read by on the non-crypto Ethereum can be read by the non-crypto Cosmos chain. Let me try to answer the question. We fully intend that interchain services and cross-communication between chains is important and will be part of the BSN Spartan network, so that there's cross-chain communication between different types of chains. We think that's important for the growth of blockchain in general. Oh, we've got one more question here. Thoughts on how Chinese SME and MSC will best take advantage of new services offered on the BSN? That's a good question. In the meantime, what I would say is, I think the BSN DDC network is a great opportunity for small and medium enterprises in China to take advantage of services on the BSN. As Yifan said, we have over 700 platforms, and think of each of those platforms as a different business, whether it's an NFT marketplace or whether it's a brand, a big brand that's trying to interact with their audience via NFT technology, or we have a government agency that we're working with that is going to issue 10 million NFTs or DDCs for individual trees in northern China to track the health and growth and things like that. So I think that for SMEs, which tend to be very cost sensitive, the BSN DDC network is a great way to experiment with DDC or NFT technology in a very low cost way to explore new kinds of services they could offer based on DDCs or NFTs.
I just want to jump in here, if it's okay, related to that question, because that was one of the things that most stood out to us, that BSN could really help give a very major push to the SME market segment, because SMEs don't have the finances to build and take advantage of all the features that BSN offers. So I think this is, for me personally, one of the biggest advantages.
A great point, Kalina. So I think we've answered all our questions. We're about out of time here. Again, this is the first edition of the BSN monthly update. We plan to do this once a month, and we'll have new updates on new announcements that are coming, new technologies, and also have other partners join us to talk about the work that we're doing together around the world. Again, I want to thank our guests, Kalina and Yifan, and we look forward to seeing all of you on the next episode of the BSN Monthly Update.